Hello guys, this is the continuous series of Income Tax Act and this is the residential status section 6 of the Income Tax Act 1961. Resident status either may be resident of India or non-resident of India. In shortcut we can say resident means R and non-resident means NR. Under the individual and HUF category, again it may be resident and ordinary resident of India or resident and non-resident ordinary resident of India. In shortcut, we can say ROR and RONR. And other than the individual and HUF category, it will fall either the resident of India or non-resident of India. So, if we test the residential status of individuals, we have to go in section 6 subsection 1 of Income Tax Act 1961. So this is also called basic condition of the residential status of individuals. So what are the two basic conditions? First basic condition is the individual should be stay 182 days or more in last previous year, or if he has not qualified the first basic condition, then in last previous year he should be at least stay 60 days and the total stay 365 days during 4 year proceeding the previous years. It means either he or she would fulfill the condition A, that is the 182 days in last previous year. If he has not stay in the previous year, that is 182 days, so he should stay at least 60 days in last previous year and 365 days preceding for previous year. If he has not complete both condition, then he would not be qualified for the residential. And if he completed only one condition from that, he would be qualified for the resident of India. There are some exceptions for resident of India. In the exception, first is that if he is the citizen of India and living India as a crew member of a ship, so he would be resident of India if he stay 182 days in last previous years. So for the person or for the citizen of India who is living India as a crew member, he would be assessed as a 182 days, means condition number 1 would be assessed for him, not condition number 2, that is the 60 days or 365 days in the previous year. The next, if he has not fulfilled the condition, then he would be non-resident. Now they come on the point, after the qualified of the residential status, individual or HUF would be either ROR or RNOR. So ROR means resident and ordinary residents. So who will be ROR? For the qualifying of ROR category, the individual should be qualified firstly for the R, means he should fulfill the basic condition of section 6 subsection 1. Thereafter, he should be resident at least 2 years out of the 10 previous immediately preceding of the relevant previous years, means last from the last previous year he should be resident of India. Thereafter, he should also complete the second condition, that is the 730 days stay in last 7 previous preceding year. So for the qualification for ROR, he should at least 2 year resident in from the last preceding previous year plus 730 days stay in last 7 years. If he has not fulfilled the condition, he would be deemed to be ROR. Means if he has not resident of 2 year out of 10 year, and if he has stayed less than 730 days, means if he has also stayed 729 days, he would be RNOR. So this is a slide which show the step of the residential status, and this is very important slides. In the first, he would be either resident or non-resident. If he is satisfied the basic condition, means two condition, 182 days stays and 365 days stay, he would be resident, and he has not completed this basic condition, then he would be deemed to be non-resident. After the status of residents, there are some exceptions as I explained. If a citizen of India living India during the previous year, then he would be assessed for the 182 days, not for the 60 plus 365 days. If he stays 182 days in last previous year, he would be resident. This is the exception for the residential status. Now, if he goes the further, after the residential status, he will be assessed either ROR or RONOR. So under the basic condition, he must be fulfill the basic condition. Thereafter, he must be fulfill the additional condition. If he fulfill the additional condition, then he would be ROR. Now, what is the additional condition? I explained in the previous slides. Additional conditions are 2 year stays out of the last previous 10 year, and at least 730 days stays during the preceding relevant previous year. So these two conditions must be fulfilled for the ROR. If he has not fulfilled the condition, so he would be RNOR. What are the steps involved the residential status? If you find the a residential status of a person, so these three steps must be followed. Step first, determine whether the individual fall under the exception to the basic conditions. For example, if he is the crew member and he is the living of India, then he would not be assessed for the two basic conditions. He would only assess only one basic condition, that is the 182 days. So first we have to see that whether he is the exception category or not. Second, if yes, then only first basic condition satisfied. If satisfied, then he will be resident, otherwise non-resident. And if the answer is no of the first step, then apply both basic condition and individual became resident on satisfaction of any one condition. Means one condition means 182 days or 60 plus 365 days in preceding last 4 previous year. After this, find out the residential status R or NR, we have to move on the third step, that is the ROR or RNOR. If satisfy the test of the ordinary resident, if yes, then he will be ROR, and if he is not satisfied, then the additional condition, he would be RONOR. It means if a person became ROR, then he would be satisfied basic condition plus additional condition. And this is the reason behind to find out the residential status. So finally outcome is that the impose of tax on base of the residential status. So this slide shown the residential status, means if a person who is ROR or RONR or in NR category, so who will pay the tax in India? So first, in the first category, income received or deemed to be received in India during accounting year or on behalf of such persons, whether acquired in India or outside India. it doesn't matter. It means if a person receives income in India and deemed to be income in India, so if he is in ROR category, he will pay the tax. If he is in RNOR, he will also pay the tax, and NR will pay the tax if he received the income or deemed to be received income in India. Second condition, income which accrues or arise or is deemed to be accrues arise to him India during accounting period. Then also ROR category, RNOR category, NR category will pay the tax. Third is that income which accrues or arise to be him outside India during accounting year, whether accrues in or outside India, same three all three category will be pay the tax. Now come on the next condition, income received or accrued outside India but set up and control in India. For example, if a person living in the USA and he has a business of a house rent in India and he give the rent his room and he asked to the rentee to transfer the amount of rent in my account that is in USA. So income accrued in India but received outside India means he has received the income in USA but set up and control in India. In this case, only NR will not pay the tax, ROR and RNOR will pay the tax. Next step is income received or accrued outside India but set up and control outside India. It means income also received in outside India, setup is also outside India. In this case, only ROR will pay the tax and RNOR NR will not pay the tax. Last condition is income earned or accrued outside India but later on remitted in India. For example, I have received the income in USA and thereafter I remitted in the India. So in this case, tax will not paid by in any condition. So this is this short slide for the residential status. I hope you will understand. If anything, you may write in the comment box. Thank you.